Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat on the way in. Okay. Shout out to Accountable Commentary. Brother, I gotta review some of the videos you've been covering. Um, First, let's put out this disclaimer. Mr. Z actually does believe in community. Mr. Z does actually believe in a community where black people look out for other black people, where black people stop on the side of the road where when a police officer is stopping another black person, where black people help granny across the street, help granny put her groceries in her car, right? Look out for the children, right? Where black people make sure that a black young woman isn't being harassed or belittled at work. Mr. Z actually believes in that. Where if you see a black lady, a black woman in conflict with a non-black person, you make sure to be close enough, you know, you make sure to be close enough just in case something happens. Mr. Z actually does believe in that. Here's the problem. Black women don't believe in it. Black women don't believe in doing for the boys so that those boys can become men that marry their daughters. Black women don't believe in making sure that their boys can read so their boys can pass tests so that their boys can become husbands in the future that marry their daughters. Black women don't make sure to practice the sort of discipline and be the sort of women that their sons value so that their sons want to marry a woman who reminds them of their kind, thoughtful, insightful mother. Black women. Black women want to practice negative liberty and then at the end of that attempt to force black men to take care of them through shame. What are black women owed? Well, what have black women contributed? Uh-oh. Huh. Dear black women, you don't get to be mean, snarky, rude, insulting, belittling, entitled, practice negative liberty, and then demand, and then shame, and then attempt to cajole men writ large, black men specifically, into being with you. You don't get to not work on your diet. You don't get to not work on your personality and your delivery and the way you speak, and then still get a husband. Not a husband worth a damn, let alone a boyfriend worth a damn, right? What are black women owed? Well, the receipt has come in. Your sons are a reflection of your investment in them. God damn, Z. Why are all these black men dating out? They don't value black women. It's colorism, it's featureism, it's texturism. No, it's his mom. Uh-oh. No, it's his mom and his female siblings and female cousins and aunts and grandma. Huh. So I have two videos from Accountable Commentary, and he wasn't even necessarily going in this direction, although it sparked that in me. Listening to the lady that was in Atlanta, and she was speaking about these men need to go, black men need to go to Africa to essentially get in touch with themselves and them. You see so many black women and so many black men dating out, but obviously she focused on the black men who are dating out. Huh. Are there some black men who might be dating out because of some form of status? Possibly. And, but could it also be black men, black boys dating out because the black girls and the black women around them are insufferable a-holes? Does the black community ever address the black women that are insufferable a-holes? Once again, mean, unwarranted meanness, unwarranted snark, unwarranted rude. Does the black community ever address the entitled, mean, snarky, a-hole black women? Ever? Is it possible that your sons are dating out, marrying out, outside of the black race, because the girls and the women are insufferable, mean, snarky a-holes? Is it possible? What are black women owed when they have fostered a community, quote unquote community, full of entitled, spoiled brats who get off on being antagonistic and insulting to black men? What are black women owed when they encourage their daughters to be as mean and rude and belittling and insulting as humanly possible, specifically directed to other black people, even more specifically directed to black males, black boys, and black men? It's not freedom you seek, black women, maybe freedom from consequences. It is negative liberty. What are you owed? Well, what have you done? Articles speaking about how horrible black men are, news segments speaking about how horrible black men are, black female politicians insulting black men, pundits insulting black men, black men at the behest of black women insulting black men. What are you owed, black women? How often do we see a black woman stop a black man who's in the middle of his black men ain't ish diatribe and say, no, 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 I don't need you to pander to me like that? I disagree with you. Huh? What are black women owed? Huh? How often do we see a black woman stop another black woman at brunch, at the day party, during their war councils and say, actually, have you ever considered what he's saying? Is it possible that he might be right? Right? How often does that happen? What are black women owed? Everything from social movements like BLM to interpersonal relationships between black men and black women, which you see are opportunists who take advantage of black men's downfall and then say they quote unquote did something for black men. And now, right, Alicia Garza and Patrice Cullors and the name of the other whatever her face is. What are black women owed? Your son's reading level shows us what you're owed. God damn, Z. Your lack of advocacy for your sons shows us what you're owed. Your lack of advocacy for your men shows us what you're owed. A whole lot of black women talking about, well, there's 2 million more black women than black men, so it's okay if we date out. Have you ever tried to make sure that black men don't end up in prison for stupid quote unquote crimes? Have you ever considered that? Huh. How about we try making sure our sons don't end up in prison, and then maybe we could talk about quote unquote the swirl. Huh? Maybe we should start there. The same black women that complain about being in these firms with rude and mean and racist white women, Latina women, Asian women, white men, Latino men, Asian men, that's both South and East Asian men, are the ones that try to make sure that black men aren't there. Well, will you look at that? What are black women owed? So once again, we're dealing with women, black women, advocating for the system, in this case, the black community, to put the thumb on the scales for them. And then on the back end, somehow magically, they're supposed to end up with black men who earn more than them, who are connected, who are intelligent, who are educated, who are well spoken, who can occupy spaces in different rooms and be respected in different spaces and different rooms. Somehow the game is supposed to be rigged in her favor as a child, but you magically somehow are still wealthier than her and more connected than her so that you could get her juices flowing, so she could be attracted to you, and so I could sell out in the sunset and get married after she's done with her Divester tour and her Chisel Chin Tyrone tour. What are black women owed? Less than 30% of black women married. Average length of marriage in the black community is something like 5 years. Black women are filing something like 70 to 80% of divorces when they are in those marriages. What are black women owed? Huh. And then we hear from black women on social media that black men are out of touch and they need to go to Africa to get in touch with their roots and their black side. Yawn. And then we have women like Miss Amanda Seals essentially saying these men need to know and stop running from women like her. Listen to Amanda Seals. You're not owed that. Dear women writ large in the West, dear black women specifically, you're not owed that. Go be the jack off machine for some white dude, or go get your liquor license and enjoy that situationship until it turns into DV. Uh-oh. What are black women owed? Well, what have black women done for black men over the past 2 decades and 4 decades? Ugh, and 6 decades. Huh? What are black women owed? Well, what have black women done? Are black women owed husbands? Black husbands? Are black women owed black boyfriends? Are black women owed sons that look out for them as they become elderly? Are black women owed black male coworkers that they can use as mentors? Are black women owed counsel and association with black men who are upwardly mobile? Are black women even owed black men that are willing to go to prison to protect them? Are black women owed that? Huh. What in the way black women behave and comport themselves in relationship to black men shows us that black women are owed that? Black women throw a tantrum when they see black male celebrities with white women. They throw a tantrum when they see underage black males with white women. Huh. Black women throw a temper tantrum when they hear of two young black people, black woman, black man, who relationship might be unconventional because he didn't kiss her ass on camera. Black women celebrate other black women getting black men together on camera, quote unquote, checking black men on camera, quote unquote, getting black men together on camera. And that right, Tina Knowles. Black women celebrate that. And yet these same women think they're owed black boyfriends worth a damn and black husbands worth a damn. No, ma'am. You get Pookie because he's struggling and he can't do better. You get the white dude who's going to use you as a human jack off machine, and you get to be in same sex loving relationships. That's what you get. Right? What are black women owed? Well, what have black women done? Right? What have black women done? Can black boys read on reading level? Uh-oh. Where are all the videos from the 90s? All the segments, news segments from the 90s of black women marching on Washington, black women marching on their state capital, picketing, attempting to make sure that black boys and black men don't end up in prison. Uh-oh. Where are all the black female attorneys with the pro bono work attempting to make sure black men don't end up in prison? We know we have a couple. Where are the scores and scores and scores? All these black women bragging about their baby bins and their red bottoms and their Louis Vuitton bags as they're in corporate spaces, as they become attorneys, etc., etc. Where are all those women to make sure that their daughters have someone to marry in the future? Yikes. What are black women owed? Are black women owed companionship from black men? Says who? Says who? Are black women owed counsel from black men? Do black women even appreciate counsel from black men? Are black women owed black men literally putting their lives on the line and their bodies on the line to protect black women? Huh? What are black women owed? What are black women owed? Right? Are black women owed mixed black men going on stage saying, black women, we're going to be there for you? Are black women owed that? Are black women owed clinical psychologists going around lecturing every black man about the snow bunny crisis? Are black women owed that? Huh? Are black women owed black leftists playing down their bad behavior while lecturing to black men and calling black men misogynist and misogynorist? Are black women owed that? Are black women owed finance professors remixing their origin story with their now wife while also lecturing down to black men about how black baby mamas ain't that bad? Are black women owed that? Huh? Are black women owed C-list Levin, excuse me, C-list Levin, C-list black comedians telling black men it's your job to be a husband and take care of these kids, right? It's your job to have a wife and some kids. Are black women owed that? Are black women owed having one of the greatest NBA players in NBA history telling you what he ain't gonna do for his sons and what he is gonna do for his daughters? Are black women owed that? Huh? Are black women owed trafficking off the name of their father, who's one of the pioneers of hip hop? Mess around, have a baby from a street guy, he ends up unfortunately unalive, then turn around, give a famous rapper her ass to kiss, then ends up with him anyway. Are black women owed that? Huh? Huh? Are black women owed us knowing their name because of the black men that put them on, that made them famous? Then they turn around and marry a white man and tell you he's the only one that was wild enough to tame me. What? Are black women owed that? Huh? Black women are owed that? Huh? Well, so we have black women who admit that their father and his discipline is much of the reason why they are how they are. Then they end up marrying a white man, can't have children for a decade, get divorced from him. He takes money in alimony, right? He takes the money in alimony, and then they turn around and rumor has it that they're with a woman now, a white woman. Are black women owed that discipline from dad? That upbringing from dad? Huh. Well, What are black women owed from black men as they give black boys and black men the middle finger? Huh? What are black women owed? Are black women owed saying that their father, they can call their father from anywhere and he will look out and he will be there? And yet she was the pass around for white men for years, for decades. And now she's telling you, oh, you know what? Based off of experiences, I can't see myself with anyone but a black man now, All because she might have been made fun of when she was a child, and that's a heavy on the might. Hmm? What are black women owed? What are black women owed? Black women whose parents are still married, and yet they're telling you decenter men. What are black women owed? Black women who admit to you that their stepfather was there in their life and they have a good relationship with their stepfather, and yet every 5 seconds, colorism is coming out their mouth. Clearly, your stepfather did not care about your darker skin tone because he treated you well enough for you to speak highly of him. But colorism, right? What are black women owed? Hmm. What are black women owed? We watch a black woman get off on talking crap to black men, being a classist short troll, insufferable classist short troll, and she still got a boyfriend. And when she speaks of him, she glows. This little sexist, misandrous troll. What are black women owed? You could be a sexist, misandrous, classist troll and still have a black man. What are black women owed? Hmm. You could literally have a term created because of you, video vixen, and turn around and speak about the misogyny in your line of work. You wouldn't even have that line of work if it wasn't for black men. No one would know who you are if it wasn't for black men. And just because you squandered every opportunity you had with black men of means, and now you're in your late 40s and you're running around here with your hair on fire, you throw those same black men under the bus. Huh. We can have mixed black women bully one of the most famous actors currently. Admit that she bullied him. See him as corny. And then wonder why she's single. I'm just saying. Huh. What are black women owed? Black women who are so damn headstrong and practicing negative liberty, no restraints, no constraints, and yet demand to have a man writ large, a black man specifically? Huh? Hmm. What are black women owed when they call you mediocre? When they use black excellence and just wanting to live an opulent life, and they use it interchangeably, right? Because clearly, black uplift is just a whole lot of Negroes with nice stuff showing it on camera. There go your inspiration, black people. What Jay Z said, my presence is the charity. Oh, what are black women owed? Hmm. And we'll pause right here. And KMS says, yeah, 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 Kanye voice. I'm going to let you finish. But Z is owed a 16-piece spicy from Popeyes between his second and third shift later today. Hysterical. Thank you. And I appreciate what you do now. Back to these bitter, bitter ass bro. Thank you for the super chat. Right. Man, what are black women owed? That's the question. Right. And y'all like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. What are black women owed? Now, the clips that I have in the once again, these clips inspired this thought in this, I guess, think piece slash rant. I guess it's a calm rant because I'm not being irate, right? I don't know if that even makes sense, right? But especially for the second clip, shout out to Accountable Commentary, where this lady is speaking about, going to Atlanta and the relationships in Atlanta and, black men with non-black women. Black women have been saying to black men how horrible black men are for decades. So black men are making their exit, whether that's passport bros, whether that's SYSBM, whether that's just clearly dating out, right? Black men are leaving black women to their own devices. So, dear black women, if that's you single with your rose toy in Lifetime movies, so be it. Whether that's you being the pleasure toy for a non black man, so be it. Whether that's you engaging in same sex loving relationships, so be it. What are black women owed? Are black women owed black men's presence after being mean, condescending, disrespectful, snarky, rude, entitled brats? Materialistic consumerist brats? Because you can't psychologically, you can't deal with the fact that you're not an upper middle class white woman. Are black women owed black men's presence? Oh, but we give birth to you, so you owe us everything forever. Ain't that right, black women? And if you haven't seen the comments, literally, they are saying that. We give birth to black men, so you owe us everything forever. Well, the science says you got to maybe about a decade or so before that's no longer true. Have fun. Circus Ray tried to warn y'all. Huh? What are black women owed with the abortion rate? Uh-oh. Z, you going there. When the child deletion rate, when the unborn child deletion rate is what it is in the black community, what are black women owed? What happened to all the black boys and black men that were supposed to date and marry your daughters? I don't know. Somewhere in a biohazard bag, in a trash bag, in a dumpster somewhere. Uh-oh. Huh? What are black women owed when one of their insults to black men they disagree with is to call him same-sex loving? Gay. What are black women owed? What are black women owed when they use gay as a slur to straight black men? Huh? What are black women owed when they're being caught more and more on camera lying about conflict with black men to get money, to get attention, to get sympathy, to spread negative PR about black men? What are black women owed when other black women come to that black woman's defense, even after she got caught lying? Right? Huh? What are black women owed? And once again, KMS, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. What are black women owed? What are black women owed when more and more of them are saying straight up matriarchy? Matriarchy or nothing. What are black women owed when they continue to speak about black men's colorism, featureism, texturism, and they're literally at the height of their game, at the height of their game, doing features with heavy set, dark skinned black women? Can anybody say R. Kelly? Can anybody say Kelly Price? I know that's not the song trail, but that it reminded me of the other joint with him and Ron Isley and Kelly Price. All right. Hmm. What are black women owed? And Mr. Shook, you have to skip to this one. And Mr. Shook to you says, and what are the what are the benefits um of matriarchy again? Well, if you let black women talk, this is just Mr. Z's assumption. You know they say what happens when you assume, you make an ass out of me. Anyway, but Mr. Z's assumption would be that you get to be in community with women who are not seeking power, they're seeking equality, they're seeking justice, unlike you, patriarchal aspiring men, right? The benefits of the matriarchy is that everyone benefits from the matriarchy, so they say. And you would get wise counsel from black women. Black women would be your leaders. They would be your high priestess. They would be your wise ones. They would be your sages, right? Your elders. And because their goal and their mission would be for justice and quote unquote equality, they can more accurately direct the black community in a way where everyone wins, right? And I heard it in your voice too, Lion. And Lion says, "No, I'll gladly choose exile." And I heard it in your voice too. And once again, Mr. Shook, to you, thank you for the super chat. Right? Oh man, I might as well read this one now too. And Lion says, "And thank you for the super chat. I'll take not a damn thing for 200, Alex." Rest in peace, Alex Trebek. Right? Hmm. What do black men get from the matriarchy? Well, seeing that the black community is a matriarchy if you want to be kind, a gynocracy if you want to be accurate, well, what have black men gotten from the wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute? And what's the reading level for our sons? Yikes. What's the incarceration rate for our sons? Oops. And BLM mission statement was what? Goddamn. And that leaked, quote unquote, leaked memo said what? Oh, once again, the benefits of matriarchy. Huh. It's not like having a matriarchal community, if you want to be kind, a gynocracy, if you want to be accurate. It's not like the number one goal and mission would be for men, black men, to pay fealty, kiss ass, kiss the ring, literally and figuratively, if you know what it really means, of black women, right? And Jimmy Olive says, what leaked memo? So, there's the mission statement, there's the memo. BLM's mission statement pretty much only spoke about these different and alternative family models. So that was their mission statement. When they were speaking about family, they purposely did not include, nuclear family. So it wasn't even like they went at patriarchy. They just said everything but nuclear family, which let everybody know what it really was, including white folks, dumbasses. And then there's the memo. So the memo was essentially saying, and I'm using George Floyd as an example, but it didn't mention George Floyd. Essentially, when heterosexual men walk in the room and they speak about their plights, you sideline them and you redirect their energy to more quote unquote marginalized groups of people. So, in other words, if George Floyd was alive and he was to walk into a BLM office and ask them for some help and speak to them about his struggles, they would have marginalized him and attempt to get him to understand that the LGBTQ sister in the corner is more important than he is. So that was what was in the quote unquote leaked memo, right? Both the memo and the mission statement were horrendous. But once again, the black community isn't a matriarchy, if you want to be kind, a gynocracy, if you want to be accurate. And this is the community where black women feel like they're owed black male protection and deference and kindness. Yeah. And the black women that had an issue with that BLM memo are who? If it's not black women that are associated with the black manosphere, what other black women do y'all know that had a problem with that memo or the mission statement? Did they even know about the memo and the mission statement? Huh? Thank you, Trill. That memo they put, excuse me, the mission statement, they put it on the website, then they scrubbed it when wait for it, the Black Manosphere noticed. And guess what? The rest of the Black community told us to shut up. It's not that serious. And then you find out how much money they're allegedly how much money they're playing with, hiding, and spending on frivolous things. Allegedly. And Darren Seals is where now? Uh-oh. And Alicia Garza and Patrice Cullors are where now? Okay, yeah. hmm And black women are owed what? Hmm. So, what are black women owed? What are black women owed? Huh. Black men who rarely, if ever, speak about black men in a vacuum. Black men who, even if they're not married to black women, make sure to look out for black women. Black men who give black women platforms, places to speak. Make sure to clear the room and the air for black women to express themselves, even when they're not intimately in relationship with black women. And those black women take that time to defecate on black men and call black men mediocre. Black civil rights leaders who literally gave their life for black people and their descendants, black women, turned around and said they're not good people because they supposedly, allegedly cheated on their wife, which their wife didn't even corroborate. Their black wife. Black women who think their little social media presence allows for them to mock black male civil rights leaders who literally gave their life for these women to speak. And what do these women say when they're able to speak? That these black men did all of this for white vagina. What are black women owed? What are black women owed? Black women who are engaging in the F these kids movement. What are black women owed? If you think black men were indifferent before, what happens when you stop having children with black men? If you thought black men were indifferent to your plight before colorism, texturism, featureism, white European beauty standard, what happens when those black men no longer have black little girls with black women? Hmm? What are black women owed? That's the question, right? That is the question. Black civil rights leaders, black male civil rights leaders who gave their life for black people, that includes black women. And black women thank them by defecating on them, by saying they did all of that just for white interracial adult relations. Hmm? Meanwhile, whole lot of black women born in the 1930s and 40s and 50s ended up in relationship with white men. Ah, but we can't talk about that. Hmm. They say talk black and sleep white, so they say. Hmm. Then you find out they were doing a whole lot of sleeping white and maybe not even talking black. Uh-oh. What are black women owed when they see a black woman in all her spectacular arrogance? A older, more seasoned black woman in all of her spectacular arrogance in the latter part of her life say, compromise, compromise for with who? For what? And black women cheer that on. Black women cheer that on. What are black women owed? Huh? What are black women owed when they cheer on those that call you mediocre? Hmm? What are black women owed? That's the question. And that will continue to be the question. What are black women owed? With all the insults, with all the belittling, with all of the condescending, what are black women owed? What are black women owed when they danced on the grave of a social media influencer because he was speaking in a way they didn't like? What are black women owed when they allowed for black women to insult black men for decades on talk shows, on mainstream media, on radio, and they couldn't take 2 years of a black man asking you, why aren't you married? How much do you weigh? What's your dream, man? What's your dream life? Well, what are you doing to make sure to work towards that? What are you doing to make sure to put yourself in the position to get that man that you hope will provide that for you? And black women sit to that. Well, when you die, we will dance on your grave and we'll make up lies about how you died, what circumstances you passed away in, and the woman that you were with. What are black women owed? That young lady that Kevin Samuels with, was she ugly? No. Was she a professional? Yes. Did Kevin Samuels die alone? No. But you let the ladies talk, and here comes the lies. He died alone. He died with a bottom shelf, whatever. Well, there. Thank you, Trell. And Trell Billy says, "What percentage of the bills to support the family are you willing to pay?" What are black women owed when they say nothing to that question? What are black women owed when they say 0%? What are black women owed when they say, I'll take 10%, I'll take 20%? What are black women owed? What are black women owed when the numbers say 60% of Americans can't afford $1,000 emergency and black women are in that environment and are actually doing worse as a group than that average, and they say to a black man that I want to pay maybe 10%, maybe 20%, zero in that environment. What are black women owed when we're in the middle of COVID-19? You don't know what's going to happen, when it's going to happen. We are in the middle of Armageddon. Black women are having to move back in with family members, with parents, shelter in place. And in that environment, when they literally don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, black women say, settle. Who wants to be with average anyway? What are black women owed? That's the question. And Victor Creed says, and thank you for the super chat. Remember, your pain is never that serious to them, but of course not, because that would make you a human being. It's harder to dehumanize you, well, when you're a human being. If I see you as human and deserving of tenderness, Z, did you just say that? If I think you're deserving of me considering your feelings, Z, what are you doing? What is this, an R&B song? If I think that you are deserving of me deferring to you, if I think you are deserving of me considering what you think and what you feel and how my words might affect you, Z, my words might affect you, Z, how my words might affect you, how I can weaponize my words and my thoughts against you. To consider that your pain is that serious would be to consider your pain, period. Can't have that, because that would get in. That's a little pesky thing that would get in the way of me talking to you however I want to talk to you and treating you however I want to treat you, whenever I want to treat you, however I want to treat you. Can't consider your pain. That gets in the way of negative liberty. Absolutely not, Vic. Nope. Pain. What is that? I know what it is for me. I don't know what it is for you, black males. Ain't that what they say now? You black males. Hmm? Remember, these are the same people that keep on saying colorism, futurism, texturism, misogynist, misogynist and misogynoirist. Remember, those are the same people. Consider your pain? Absolutely not. Meanwhile, their light-skinned homegirl walks into the club after them, and your head turns, and then they're harmed for the rest of the night. They don't know what to do with themselves. Meanwhile, in Florida, we have men, black men, who literally died in front of their son because they were protecting their girlfriend, their black girlfriend, from a white harasser, and took a bullet to the chest. Oh, yeah, and that black girlfriend wasn't even light skinned, dark skinned black girlfriend. And this man died. Huh. Oh, I forgot. That's his job anyway. His job is to die for her. Regardless of who she is, what she does, what she did, right? Better use is in my Soldier Boy voice, feelings, Drake, right? And once again, thank you for the super chat, Vic. Thank you, Victor Creed, right? And if y'all had never heard of the Victor Creed rule, the Victor Creed rule is, yeah, you could check your lady's phone for, whatever sneaky link she might have. But another very important question, arguably equally as important, is have you ever checked what your girl is subscribed to, both on TikTok and YouTube and IG and whatever other social media platform? Have you ever checked to see if your lady listens to Yanni or Chrissy or Lexus Exodus or Paris Milan or Divested Zealot? Well, Cynthia G no longer has a channel, but if she was subscribed to Cynthia G, shout out to Victor Creed. The Victor Creed rule, right? Very important. Hmm. So, we're not going to belabor this too much longer. About an hour is good. Look, everyone, what black women are owed is what they have. And there you go. Are black women owed placaters and panderers? Shout out to AB Media 83. Are black women owed panda bears? Right? Are black women owed black men who know better and lie to their face anyway? Are black women owed that? Right? That's a good question. Are black women owed black men lying to them to make them feel better about not being upper middle class and rich white women? God damn, Z. Oh yeah, or that Princella chick. Ugh. If your lady is listening to Princella, you got way more problems than you care to admit. If your lady listening to Princella, she might not be doing overtime like she says she's doing. Maybe her tongue is doing overtime. Oh goddamn, Z. Right? Huh? What are black women owed? That is a good question. Right? What are black women owed? And so, ending out here, y'all check out the links in the description. I'm not saying that they necessarily speak to what I spoke to this morning, but they did inspire this thought. So there's a pun in there somewhere. So watching these clips, especially the second one, inspired me asking myself, so what are black women owed? Are black women owed black men dating and marrying exclusively black women? What have black women done, particularly over the past 5 or 6 decades, that would garner that? Right? Yeah, she ain't your lady. Right? That is the question. Hmm. Oh wow. And Mr. Shook to you says, my friend and his girl just had a kid. I overheard her and her girls talking about all the chicks you refer to. I just told him he needs to be aware, careful, aware slash careful. He knows nothing about these spaces, and I think, we're social media junkies here. We're internet junkies, right? Mr. Z is definitely, admittedly, a social media junkie, particularly YouTube, a YouTube junkie. Um, a lot of our friends and family members aren't understandable, right? And so they think this internet thing is a game. They think it's a joke. First of all, they think entertainment is just entertainment, right? Shout out to all the old heads that tell you television programming, you're being programmed visually, and shout out to Eddie Griffin. Um, so they think entertainment is just entertainment. They don't see it as programming, right? Shout out to Professor Black Truth, white media, right? They don't see it as white media. They just think it's TV and whatever. I'm tying that to the internet and social media by saying a lot of our friends, our family members, definitely the men, they don't think this social media thing is a real thing like that. They don't take it seriously. They don't see these women in these spaces as think tanks. They don't see these women in these spaces as sharing lies, sharing ideas, sharing experiences. They don't think of it that way. They don't understand how women are interacting with social media. And even some men and even some obviously younger folks, they don't get it, right? They don't get it. They'll hear women speak about, DZ, divested zealot, or Cynthia G, or whoever, and they won't really understand the fact that your lady even knows who these women are. Problem number one, right? We're the anonymous, right? Social media anonymous, Toya's in here too. What's going on, Toya? And I am Waf, sis. My name is I am Waf, and I am also an internet YouTube junkie. We're in social media anonymous. Z stands up. Look, man, I get my fix every day as I scratch my neck like Dave Chappelle. Oh man, I gotta get my fix once I wake up, man. Once I wake up, I slap the phone on my face, pow, and then I start scrolling. Right, I go to sleep next to the phone. I wake up next to the phone. Right, I take a shower with the phone going off in the background. I handle my bio needs with the phone right next to me in my hand. I wipe with it in my hand, in the other hand, hopefully. Uh, Leon says I take my YouTube pill every day. Oh man, cue up whatever prescription commercial. The last 10 seconds when they running through the side effects. If you too suffer from symptom 1, 2, and 3, you might be having an allergic reaction to our YouTube pill. Right? But yeah, no, as social media guys, people that are interacting with the internet and social media, um, we understand the implications of being around children, men and women, who may know certain names or who are listening to certain people who might be interacting on certain platforms with other people. We understand the implications of that. A lot of our friends and family, particularly the older ones, they don't get it. The middle age and older ones, they don't understand. They don't get it. Right? What's the name of that lady with the septum ring? Keating, whatever the hell. They don't understand. If your daughter is following her, you got some problems on your hands. Right? You have some problems on your hands. If your daughter listens to Paris Milan, you have some problems on your hands. Right? Yeah, good point. And Vic says, The scary part is they may not know the names, but they know the ideology. Yep, yep, exactly. Black mom and Only Logical says, and shout out to Only Logical. Black mom will just blame black men. Yeah, yep. So if your daughters are interacting with this type of stuff, see, it's fascinating. The fear of having young boys and men playing first person shooter games and Grand Theft Auto type games. And everybody's like, "Ooh, these young people in these video games, these violent video games, these young men in these violent video games." And yet, your daughter being on social media, interacting and speaking to grown ass, old ass women who are bitter, angry, and resentful, speaking Nazi like about black men, no problems there. Nothing to see there, no issues there, nothing to be suspicious about there. Nope. You're fearful of your sons interacting with violent video games and how that might have an influence on him and the way he sees life and the preciousness of life. But your daughters listening to bitter, angry, more often than not, single women speak about how horrible black men are, nothing to see here. Oh, I forgot. Wait, you speak about black men the same way. Uh-oh. Right? And when I say you speak about black men the same way, Z, are you going to say it? Yes, I am. I'm talking about black men and black women speaking negatively about black men. Thank you, Joe. Talk about grooming, right? And that's all it is. I want us to be super. Look, man, Xers, millennials, because boomers are not going to be here for how bad I think this is about to get. So that's one of the beauties about being a boomer right now. But especially for us Xers, millennials, Gen Z, look, as these, you'll understand, most of Chrissy's subscribers, I would argue, are her age and younger. So we're really talking about people that are like 40 and younger, 35-ish and younger. Same thing with Yanni, same thing with Paris, right? Do y'all understand? They're not really in the age group to be politicians yet and judges yet. But in the next 15 to 20 years, the oldest of them, do you understand how frightening it's gonna be to have a Kentanji? But that didn't just end up with the white man, but was on some divester stuff. That's why she's with the white man? Okay. As much as we dislike Kamala Harris, you imagine a Kamala Harris that is with the white dude off of some divester thing? Not off of political expediency, but on some divester thing? Okay. Huh? You imagine a Eve? Like, look at Doja Cat now. Doja Cat is an example of what we're speaking about. Azalea Banks is an example of what we're speaking about. You imagine if Azalea Banks was a bigger artist? Huh? You imagine if people didn't know that Doja Cat was thrown off? And she didn't have an inferiority complex? Imagine being a light-skinned mixed black woman in these United States and having an inferiority complex. Oh boy. Right? So y'all be careful because I truly believe as these women get older and they start to get in certain positions, there's a pun in there, right? After the casting couch, I just want us to be careful because when these people get to where they're trying to go and elevate in their life and whatever their career goals are, And then you're gonna have white people say, "There's no way she could be racist. She's black. She's a black woman." Okay, got a whole Nazi up there, but she's a black woman. Okay, you're just saying that because she has a white husband. All right, yeah, that's it. That's the reason. Right. So on that note, everyone, we will truly pause right here. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Y'all go check out other Black Manosphere content, other non-Manosphere content. I think Dr. Thunder is streaming right now, so y'all go check him out. Raj is coming on in about an hour, right? No, Vic, hopefully not. And Vic's a Doja Cat for Senate. Hopefully not. Not her little inferiority complex, freaking psychologically thrown off ass. You imagine begging a teenager to hook you up with another white dude. You imagine? And then being embarrassed that he exposed you. You went to like a 16, 17-year-old to try to get him to hook you up with his co-worker. Right? With the other actor on the show. And then got embarrassed that he exposed you. What did you think the 17-year-old white boy was gonna do? Dumbass. Right? Toya said, imagine being biracial only to be spicy white at best. And to be with a who the hell is he type of social media comedian. Yawn. A white social media comedian. Oh boy, yawn. You wanted the dude from Stranger Things. You ended up with the who the hell is he? White dude. Uh right. Huh. Same thing with Azealia Banks. Well, I'm going home to do this with my white boyfriend. I'm going home to do that. Who the hell is that dude again? Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. Imagine being mad at black men, so you go attempt to brag about the fact that you're gonna go home and do whatever to your white boyfriend. Dear black women, black men aren't black women. The white dude jumping up and down in your esophagus doesn't do anything for us. That doesn't make us bitter or angry or jealous. Imagine that. Imagine trying to flex on men the way you feel men flex on women. You know, I'm gonna go home and do whatever with my white man. And black men are like, okay. Oh, right. Wow. Isn't this the same chick that was on Hot 97 crying about the influence of white money and stuff like that on hip hop, on black music, and then turn around and is married to the white dude who's jumping up and down in her esophagus? When she spoke about her and dude being engaged, did anybody care? Her and dude being married, did anybody care? Man, if you don't get your little thrown off inferiority complex having ass. And all of them, you let them talk long enough, and you like you're almost always gonna hear this type of story. Oh, Stefco is another one. She like Ostefco pretty much told you she was dealing with loser ass white dudes. You're a whole educator dealing with loser ass white dudes. Practically bums. And low key, high key, trying to get pregnant from one of them. God damn. Right? Same thing if you go through my community chat all the way down in on my community tab, better yet, is coverage of, was it divorce court? Same thing. You hear this, she's a heavier black woman, but you hear her voice, it's so sweet and soft, and And she with some, I'm gonna say this, but he's not, some quote unquote reformed skinhead who already had white children before the fact. It's a lot of these little thrown off inferiority complex black women talking crap about black men while being the human jack off machine for some white dudes. Right? Man. And Mr. Shook to you says, I personally know three recent divorcees, 40 plus, been seeing them all over men's space comment sections. They now want, I think you mean now understand men's perspective after realizing it ain't as easy as they thought out here. Which you mean the women or the men? Or both? Right? Because it's not. You are a full adult attempting to come into union with another full adult. Two different people, two different experiences, two different understandings of the world, and you're trying to bring that into one accord. That is not going to be easy. Number one. Number two, we have the XX chromosome side of the game that want to pick and choose which parts and which times they want to be damsel in distress and Wilton Violet, and then when they want to be my penis bigger than yours. And we both have quote unquote feminine and masculine energies. What are we, trans? And whenever you hear that we both have quote unquote feminine and masculine energy, what that means is they want that feminism and patriarchy on a sliding scale. Day by day, hour by hour, minute by minute, they want to pick and choose when and if they want to be quote unquote feminine and when they want to be my penis bigger than yours. Oh man, Mr. Shook to you says these are women that are my friends, my wife, excuse me, my wife's friends, relatives. I hear the crying on the other end of the phone. God, Mr. Shook to you, you just gave me another like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. Okay, here go another 10 minutes of commentary. But what did they think, Mr. Shook to you? What did they think? What did they like? Look, Mr. Z is a 37-year-old black man. And even with the money I earn and the fact that I don't have any children, I am fit enough, although I got this gut on me now. I am, I have no baggage. I don't even want to be back out here in the dating scene. I'm not an ugly brother. I'm not overweight. I'm not, but I don't even want to be out here in the dating scene. And I live in South Florida. We have some of the most physically attractive women, arguably on the planet, definitely in the country. I think the only people we really come in second place on to is LA. Right? In regions of the country, South Florida's probably only come in second place to LA County. Really just the city, but LA County. Right? And I don't even want to be out here in the dating scene. Because finding the attractive woman that's not the fully difficult part. Finding the physically attractive woman that's also educated, that's not an a-hole, have fun with that. And yet these women who are in their 40s came back out here in the dating scene and they expected what? If you back out here in the dating scene in your 40s, that means you're out here with other divorcee men which means you're not dealing with the young, naive dudes when you were in your 20s anymore. You can't just throw the vagina on him and he's hypnotized. That don't work in your 40s. That's number one. Number two, and you're also out here with the dudes that never got married and have a whole lot of experiences in their wolves. You're out here with the younger dudes who might want to use you as target practice also. You're in your 40s, he's in his early 30s. He's not trying to deal with one of these younger women that are, entitled brats. So he'll use you for target practice for 9 months a year and have fun with you. And whenever you want to have the cobwebs knocked out or you have a little itch, he'll come and scratch it for you. Right? What do these what do people think? You're gonna come out back out here in the dating scene in your 40s and expect what? And we're not even saying like early 40s, no children, whatever. No, mid to late 40s, divorced, 2 or 3 kids. And you expect what? Right? And then you're already speaking to a man who might have been divorced already. His wife is in his ex-wife is in his pockets with whatever alimony. She's definitely in his pockets with the child support. And you expect him to do what with you? Median household income in America, 74,000. What black men on medium is what? 40 something thousand dollars a year, 42, $43,000 a year. Let's say 45 because the last time those numbers were taken were like a few years ago. Let's say 45. Let's give black men a couple $1,000 median. Right? And you want black men to do what with you? Z, don't say it. Don't say it. You want even working class white men to do what with you? God damn, Z. I ain't even gonna mention the Latinos. That's not a thing. Notice I didn't say anything about Asians. I said I'm not even gonna mention the Latinos because it's not a thing. Not in your 40s, divorced with 2 kids. This is the real world. And this is what happens, number one, when you dismiss what men are telling you, when men are saying what men care about, you find yourself in these positions. Because I guarantee you somewhere where some men saying, I'm telling you, you don't want to be back out here. But when you dismiss what men are telling you because it sounds harsh and they're just trying to be mean and they're sexist and they're misogynist, then you come back out here in the dating scene into Armageddon, into a post-apocalyptic hellscape. Right? When you don't pay attention to the numbers, when you don't care about what people earn, what the marriage rate is for divorcees, the likeliness that those marriages maintain themselves until what someone passes, the divorce rate for second marriages is even higher. Right? But when you don't consider that before you file for divorce the first time and stay your ass put, Mr. Z, you about to say it. Mr. Z about to say it. And grin and bear it. Oh, Z, oh, the pain. Ooh, I know it burn. Ooh, 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 it burn. Well, you find yourself out here in your 40s with 2 and 3 kids, divorced, and if you're lucky, your 28-year-old, 32-year-old male coworker wants to be your 3 o'clock booty call. If you're lucky, at least you have a young fit stallion that wants to, help you work out. If you're lucky, if you're not, then you got to go speak to the 53, 55-year-old who got to take a blue pill and who back might go out, right? Because you just didn't do the math and your ego was in the way. Anybody want to say Tyrese's ex-wife? God damn, Z. And she looks good, actually. Huh? That regret is real. Anybody want to say the older black woman that we covered a little while ago across the black manosphere that spoke about divorcing her husband because she started earning more at work and now she regrets it? What do these women think when they're divorcing their husbands in their mid to late 40s? Mid to late 40s, 50s? Where do you think you're going in your 50s? Forget feelings. Where do you think, let's be practical, where do you think you're going in your 50s when you're going to be, what, a divorcee of 3? Yeah, but my youngest is 14 years old. They'll be out the house in 4 years. It won't even matter. Yes, it will. He's not going to be out the house. She's not going to be out the house in 4 years. If you're lucky, 8 years. They're going to be in your house until 24, 25. Welcome to the new America. All right. That's number one. Number two, did you become kinder over the past couple years since divorce? Or have you become colder and meaner and darker? Ugh. And heavier? Uh-oh. Vic says I call it cardio. I'm telling you, them young dudes, the 28 and 32-year-olds, see, women be having it all the way backwards half the time. Is it possible? Is it possible? Possible that you could be 45 and you and the 32-year-old make it work? Possible? I guess. Probable? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But the 32-year-old, will give you that workout. That cardio, oh yeah, especially if you're still relatively fit or relatively attractive. Yeah, the 32-year-old, you're 48, he's 35, he's 32, he's 28. Yeah, that cardio, yeah, they'll work you out and brag about it afterward. Is that going to become a thing? Absolutely not. All right. But hey, right? Oh, Mr. Shikti says a couple of them have even been on Kendra G show. Oh wow. Oh wow. And Mr. Shook to you also says they are crying because after they had their Cheerio phase, after divorce, they quickly found out it ain't easy to lock another dude down. Two of them, two of the three guys remarried to younger, better looking chicks. Of course. And on the other side of that, it's easier for us than them, especially if they didn't completely destroy our finances after divorce. It's easier for us than them. And that's not even necessarily something to brag about. It's that you didn't do the math. You didn't do the cost benefit analysis. You didn't. Okay, my let's say current husband, in this case for her, my current husband is getting on my nerves. We're not seeing eye to eye. I've been sleeping in my kids' room for the past month or so. I'm considering filing for divorce. Okay, what's the cost? What's the cost to me financially? What's going to be the cost to my mental health? What's going to be the cost to my emotional health? What's going to be the cost to my sanity? What's going to be the cost to me in my companionship, my relationships, my sex life, my love life? What's the cost benefit analysis? Right? What's the cost benefit analysis if I torpedo this marriage? Fine, we file for divorce. I get whatever child support from him. I get whatever money of alimony. I'm going. I went out. I'm having fun. You know. I got a couple of men in my DMs that were waiting for me for the longest because I kind of look like Marjorie, right? I kind of look like Marjorie Harvey, and that's cool and all for the first couple years of divorce. And now what? 3 years after divorce, 4 years after divorce, 5 years after divorce, 6 years after divorce, a decade after divorce. Uh-oh. Right? And Mr. Shuktiyu says, I have to be aware of these things because I never know when these mindsets can cross my doorsteps. My doorstep. Women are hive-minded and internalize other women's BS. Yep. I saw with my home one of my homeboys back when we were in college years. His ex-girlfriend, all of her friends broke up with their dudes like back to back to back, and him and her were the last ones, and they broke up not too short after that. I mean, back to back to back. It was like a domino because I was the one single friend, and I came in through him. Right, I'm his friend, so I was the one single friend. All of her friends were in relationship, and my other homeboy, um, who introduced him to his lady, he was in a relationship. So I'm the only single one. But when the breakup started happening, all of them like dominoes. Obviously, we're talking about early 20s, so it's a bit different, right? But all, like dominoes, back to back, breakup, right? And we're talking about people that were together for some years, a couple of them since high school. Some of them, first got together early college years, made it 3 years. But when those breakups started happening, it was back to back to back to back. Dominoes. Yeah, you know. And I think that's okay. But then the question then becomes once again to the title of the video, what are black women owed? If you do that, you're not. I think I need to end off on this. This is the theme of today's video. Black women, you're not owed a quote unquote good guy at the end of your quote unquote journey. Will it happen for some? Yes. For most, arguably not. For all, definitely not. Black women, you're not owed a quote unquote good man in general, and then specifically a good black man after your quote unquote journey, whatever that journey happens to be, whatever you want to call it. You're not owed that. After you're done having your fun with whoever, after you're done with certain experiences, whether, let's be honest, whether that's having your Cheerios phase or whether that you were a bitter Betty and you sat on your vagina for years and you did nothing and you had no relationships and you were celibate for 3, 4 years, 5 years. Even when you come out of that, you're still not owed a quote unquote good black man. You're not. Oh, it's not fair. So be it. Date out or date same sex. Right? You're not owed that. And if you want to know one of the main reasons why black women are throwing a temper tantrum, where some of this anger comes from, it's because in their mind, it's not fair, whatever that means. It's not fair. You're trying to tell me I went through quote unquote all of this and I don't get my happy ending, I don't get my Disney ending? But the white women, oh boy, here we go, because you know they got to say it, right? Trell, I had to read it twice to get it. And Trell says, if she's celibate, I'll buy a bit. Hysterical, but right, dear. And I think this is the difference, maybe between men and women. No one tells us that just because you're quote unquote doing well and you're quote unquote doing good and you're on the quote unquote right side of history, that you're owed vagina, that you're owed a relationship, that you're owed a woman, a good woman. You're not owed. That's not how the world works, nor will it ever work that way. The closest you get to that is matchmaking, is your parents matching you with someone else. Or if you go to a professional matchmaker, that the closest you get to someone that's that equally yoked, quote unquote, equally yoked, where y'all match up with life goals and which direction y'all gonna go in life, and is if someone else does it for you that cares about you or that you pay a good amount of money to. But this idea that, I went on my journey and I did my thing and I think now I'm deserving. Oh boy. I think I'm worthy, yikes, of this type of man and lifestyle. Dear women writ large, black women specifically, that is not how the world works, and you are not owed a good rich man. These women really think they're owed a good rich man, a good rich man, a faithful, good, attractive rich man who all the other women want to end up with, but he only has eyes for you. They think they're owed that going to the title. A super attractive, and for some of those women that think they're slick, they want like a Clark Kent, low key attractive, like he's Superman, low key, right? A super attractive, well endowed, humble, emotionally intelligent, financially well endowed, status conscious while not being arrogant, while having status. right? Defers to her, caters to her emotions, quote unquote princess treatment. Ass man. They think they're deserving and they're owed that. Quote unquote, they think they're worthy of that. Get out of here. Vince says, you mean the ones they fumbled 15, 20 years ago? And but it's not fair. I was growing up, I was maturing. When men get to mature, men get to make mistakes, men get to run through women. Huh. So on that note, for real, y'all, look, we were supposed to end it out 45 minutes ago. Okay. And we'll pause right here. Truly, love, peace, and chicken grease. Y'all have a great, 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 great rest of y'all day. Um, y'all go check out Dr. Thunder. He's probably still streaming. The Roger Report is supposed to be streaming in the next 30. So y'all go check out other Black Manosphere content, other non-Manosphere content, for the love of God. I did not forget about my Doomer stream. I will be bringing up my Doomer stream. Shout out to Cheryl Bentley. Trell killed me in the comments like, you would stream on the day when I'm not available. Look, Trell, hey. It ain't my fault. Alexa, play Silk the Shocker Mystical, please. Anyway, right, so but I hope you like the stream. I hope you like the stream. And yeah, we're still gonna be doing the Doomer stream. If we don't do it Friday, then we'll do it Monday. If y'all want me to cover anything, or y'all want this, I'm gonna bring a panel up for that. So if you want us to speak about anything, y'all could definitely always email me anything that you want to hear about, anything you think that I should know about, anything going on in the world. But and like I said, if y'all want to go full on tinfoil hat with the Doomer stuff, if you want to go dark things that you may know that we don't know, obviously I want to have Sauchi there, I want to have Better You there. BGS obviously is allowed to come up. Oh yeah, and I won't forget Gigi. Yes, yeah. Right, so anybody that wants to come up, anybody that wants to present something to consider, we could do everything from the AI is going to take over the world, Skynet, to you know, whatever, however y'all want to go with it. It's going to be a freestyle, right? Shout out to Obsidian Popcorn Style, right? So yeah, you know, I want to do the Doomer stream. I think look, I my life is pretty okay-ish right now. So I believe in positive vibes when it's needed, when it warrants it, but I don't get caught up in the it always got to be positive and I always got to be, you know, no, I can't do it. I can't be sunshine and rainbows all the time. It drives me absolutely bonkers, right? So bringing us closer to the ground and speaking about real things that's going on or that may happen, that may be a little bit more sobering. Mr. Z's with it, right? So yeah, and we'll pause right there. Truly, y'all have a great, great rest of y'all day. Like I said, go check out other Black Manosphere content, other non-Manosphere content. All right, y'all. Mr. Z out. Oh yeah, and Vince, you can send me those. And Vince says I have some research articles. Send me them. Email. All right, y'all. Have a great rest of y'all day.